So we're back with Bloons Card Storm, and I'm using a controlled Gwen deck because that seems to be my favorite so far, and it's mainly because of the banana farms. I've seen the banana farms used against me crazily, and I've used them myself and had tons of money. Like, we're talking tons of money extra that you don't even know what to do with it because usually you don't have enough cards to play with all of that money. So we're gonna be going against a Quincy here. And I'm going to do a little bit of a different approach. I am filming my voice after the gameplay, so I got to use my full brain making all of these plays. And basically, you see that I start off with a banana farm, and I'm really excited about it. Plus, I have some golden balloons, and those either do damage or I get money for them once they pop them. So it's really good for me either way. But I played a few games to get to this point because it's all RNG based as far as the fact that I didn't get farms every time I wanted them. Like, I think I played about 6 games and only 2 of them was I even able to have a farm start. But the farm start changes everything and just sets you off on a better pace. Now, both of you have early farms and it just turns into this long stalemate game that can go easily into the double-digit rounds. And I'm not a total expert on the decks yet, but I would assume that this is either a Quincy aggressive deck or a Quincy starter deck because from what I've seen, the control deck on Quincy is really good because you get a lot of tack shooters, and that's, I think, is like the best tower in the game is the tack shooter. Well, no, technically the banana farm is a tower too. So I guess I'm saying the best attack tower is attack, and then the best tower is going to be the farm because the farm just, literally mind-blowing how much money you end up with. Now, my plan here was just to get as much money as possible. So I was hoping they would pop the gold balloons. And if not, then I get damage for them. So it's great. And then I was tanking this early damage because I'm like, who cares? I know I'm going to get one of those health things later on. And again, I already have a ton of money going into round 3. So I wasn't too worried about it. So my plan was just to keep storing money to get better cards and just throwing in some damage here and there with the white balloons and the gold balloons. Just seeing what I could do to the other player and seeing what they're going to be doing to me. So here he decides to play a couple of greens, which a good amount of damage, I guess. We're talking like not even that much. He couldn't take me out, so it's not a big deal. And I've already flamed the blues, so I didn't get to take that much damage from that. And then one of the reasons I really like the control deck for Quincy is you get those Firestorm cards, and you get several of them usually. You get at least 1 or 2 a game, which is enough that can change the tides. And so I try to save it as long as I can. But then I pulled another banana farm here, and I thought that was awesome. And I was going to throw it down. I thought maybe it's a little late into the game, but then again, who cares? Because it only costs 3 coins. You get an extra 2 coins. So in 2 rounds, it pays for itself. And next thing you know, you get an influx of money. Now, if this is an aggressive deck that they're playing, which I believe it is based on those like 0-card red balloons, the problem is that you end up with all these cards that you can play early on because they're only 1 coin, 0 coins, and then you end up with nothing else. And I've been in that situation many a times with the aggressive deck. I don't have any cards left and I'm just waiting for something good to be pulled, and then you get like a Moab. So then you can't do anything for 4 rounds because all you can do is place a Moab. So my goal here, again, just to keep on going and just trash them with some balloons while taking his down as much as I can. I don't care if I take some health here or there. I'm even down to go down to like the nitty gritty on my health, but I'm going to take it down as much as I can to, negate the damage. But we managed to get this one down to pretty much nothing because that fire will knock it down to 25. It'll take 30 damage away before it hits on me. And so now Quincy's down to 170 and we have 260, and they have to worry about a Moab in the next few rounds. But this card changed it all because 150 damage is a lot. And all it takes is him to drop down a tower to do some damage to my Moab. And guess what? Now it's not going to win the game, and I'll end up with like a little bit shy of winning. But I was very curious as to how this person had so many cards left, because whenever I go attack Quincy, it's just like I'm out of cards by like the 5th or 6th round. So he should not have much left to play at this point. And with my triple dart, boom, took down a lot of the damage there. Still don't have to worry about it. So I finally decide to play my banana farm here just because I was like, okay, if we can just pummel it with a ton of money, I can throw out every card I have. I'll have enough for sharpshooters. I'll have enough for BFBs, tons of yellows. And at this point, I don't know what their game plan is, and I'm assuming they're running out of cards. I'm assuming there's not many cards left in their hands that they can do anything good with, and they're going to be waiting on like the Card Storm or the Bloons Storm to throw in some good balloons on their side to fight me. Then they played this one. I was a little worried about it at first because I'm like, okay, that's a ton of damage I wasn't expecting, like a lot of damage. And I thought I'd play my Firestorm, but then I'm like, okay, again, I have enough stuff here. I don't really need to worry about it. If I can just take it down a little bit, I'll see what I can do. But I was worried about them playing an Embiggen, which would raise the health of all of them by 25, which would be very scary at this point. So I just decided to go with the Firestorm and say, forget about it. So I should have not wasted my dart, but hindsight's 2020. and I did what I could. But now they have no attack towers down, or no towers at all, no balloons down, and I have a huge set here with a ton of money coming in each round. The next round I'm gonna be getting 12 coins versus their 8. So this many rounds in, finally decides to throw down an attack tower, and I've been there. With Quincy attack or aggressive, you just want to throw out as many balloons as you can, trying to get me down as much as I can. But the problem with that is that the control deck has that fire damage, plus you do get heals. You get a couple of heals if you're lucky, which will just negate everything that just happened. But I was a little bummed here because I thought this was game over with these yellows, and that boomerang came in and just kind of trashed me a little bit. But now look, we have 14 coins to work with. That is so many. So I figured let's just go crazy. Let's throw in some balloons. Let's get this going. Let's get my fire damage up. Wow, I even got a cash drop. Let's do even more. And I'm just gonna throw on an onslaught here, but still, like, you have so much money left, I don't even know what to do with it. Like, there's not much you can do with it. Cause yeah, I could throw down a super monkey, but I don't need to. So I figured let's just throw down some more balloons and just go all out, because there's no way to defend with this unless they have some kind of crazy thing, which they don't. He has 0 out of 9 Quincy power. There's really not much they can do in this situation if it's just an attack deck, because the aggressive deck has nothing really that good, in my opinion, into the late rounds. And I have tons of money. And then this came up. And then I wasn't expecting this. And then I was like jumping on the edge of my seat. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the only thing I wasn't thinking about was 2 pink balloons. And all they would need is an embiggen, which luckily they didn't have enough coins to use if they had it. But that embiggen would have destroyed me. Game over. But as you're about to see, I am left with 5 health, which is super scary because I believe there's another card they could have used too that allows them to lower the ceramics move turn by 1. I just don't know if that deck has that. I'm not completely sure on the decks just yet. I haven't played enough games, but I knew I had the game here. I'm not too familiar with the game yet that I'm worried that something could come out of left field that I wasn't expecting. So just to like, not just to rub it in their face, but I also want to make sure that nothing happens. And that's a good way of doing it, is just by finishing off your round, because I have gotten a little crazy before and lost the game because I thought I won and then the fire got me. So now we're at our next game here with the farm, and I've actually played this player a couple of times and he swatted me a couple of times. So very good player over here. And a lot of it is RNG based because I didn't get farms early on. So if my whole plan was to go in with farms and start it, and yes, I was able to use gold balloons, get some money, but when you see that first farm, you're very, very happy because then it's gonna change the face of the game, because I hate scrounging for money, not knowing what's gonna happen. But this guy really likes to play tax, and no joke why, because these tax are amazing. All of a sudden, I think I have like 120 damage going after him, and then boom, he just takes down all of the health out of it out of nowhere because those tax attack automatically, which is awesome, but awful. And then I was able to pull a second banana farm. So I'm gonna go into this game with 2 banana farms off the top. And I was a little bummed that he had one too, because my whole goal was just to pummel him with money. But then I was like, okay, there's no way he has 2. So he's clearly playing a controlled Quincy deck, which is a good deck because Quincy has that passive where he drops arrows every time you put a balloon out, which is honestly just a huge bummer. So I decided just to take this one down. And this was a bad play on my part because I had 1 dart left and I'm thinking to myself, should I waste it? Because if I destroy that black balloon, he gets a card back. But then I'm thinking if the card attacks on its own, you don't get a card back, right? It's kind of like the gold one where you don't get the 2 coins, but the way it's worded, it says on destroyed. Well, it's destroyed when it pops on Gwen. So I wasn't too sure. I just took it down and I didn't want to have just 1 move left with my dart. But then he goes straight attack on here and just throws tons and tons of towers down just to just trash me. And he does a good job of it. So I thought, let's just go in with the big guns. Let's give him pressure early on. Now he has to focus on taking down the big old BFB rather than focus on attacking me, which I thought was a good plan since I had tons and tons of money coming in. You can see I have 2 healths, a fire, and then a restock in case things get crazy. But then he returns it to Cinder, and I was pretty bummed at that, but then I was thinking, no, I'm not. I have tons of money. I'm gonna have 10 coins at the end of this round plus 4 more. So I'm gonna have 14 coins coming into this round. So I'll play another one. Let's do it. Let's throw in a Moab too. Now you got a lot to worry about and your little attacks aren't gonna do nothing. And I got my dart monkey back in case he throws something down. So my goal here obviously was like, okay, I already got the money built up. We're only on round 6. I'm gonna start throwing down pressure, tons of it. Now it's a good gamble because all he could do is see, throws in another farm, and now he has the same thing, but he started a few rounds after me. So I got a few rounds, like what is that, like 8 or 10 coins I got over him, which is really nice. But I also lost 7 coins when he returned to center that BFB. So you could look at it either way. Now the storm actually worked in my favor, which usually it does. It's always in your favor, but I didn't expect to have another heavy hitter coming. I didn't watch the countdown. And so I'm like, wow, I got a ceramic, a Moab, and a BFB, plus I got a ton of damage with this crossbow. I think we're pretty good here. Now, one thing I know that I need to work on is the damage output. Like, I only have 35 health on these, so I know if I lower them and do this now, they're only going to be down to 5 health, which is great. So I'm only going to get hurt by 10, which is awesome. But some of the times I overuse or underuse my attack towers, and that's a big bummer. It's something I need to work on for sure, just doing the basic math. But there's a lot going into this because I forget that Quincy drops that arrow and takes down the damage every single time, so that I lose that health. And so I'm like, I'm just going to pummel him with yellows, but sure enough, he takes a lot of the damage down. And then one of those little drop down arrow button clickers, just like my Firestorm, but his Arrow Storm, could just take everything down. Now with a restock, I'm assuming that's how he got that super monkey. Now we're talking, what is that? 180 damage coming after me. That is pretty wild. And he has a full Quincy, so he could use the Rain of Arrows ability, his passive, and just trash me completely. And he is just going to take them down, which is perfect. I mean, he has 60 damage on each one, and there's 60 damage yellows. So that just did a lot of stuff there. And then I think his tack's going to make that thing completely non-existent when I shoot my yellow at him. So I decide to flame the ceramic to take down 30 health each round. And then again, I'm just going to use the rest of my yellows because I want to save up spots for new cards to come into if I need to use that restock. So I'm just like, okay, let's fill up the whole screen here. And then there goes that yellow completely gone as expected. Oh, those tacks are so good. But I just really have been enjoying Gwen, so I haven't even tried Quincy control. I'm really liking Gwen control. But now he has that same BFB that I got, and there's a lot of damage to it. But it's not that big of a deal because I have 70 damage coming in with mine. So I thought this was a pretty clever play. So instead of sacrificing his farm, what he does is he throws down another tack on top of his tack so he can get an instant cooldown, and then has his sniper come in and do a lot of damage. So this is definitely going to save him. Plus it's not going to do as much as I thought. So now given that I have 380 damage going, but those tacks are going to take it away, and then I have the ceramic is what I have to worry about now. And the BFB, I don't really care because I do have the Firestorm. I decide just to take out the ceramic as much as I can. So now I should only be hit with 5, which is awesome. Now, since I have 2 health here, I decided to use one of them because I was thinking, I've been in this situation where I think I have a lot of health, and the next thing I know, I get trashed because 2 pink balloons, or you just never know in this game. Anything can come out of you since it's all new and fresh. I mean, I forget what cards there are. So I decided to give myself a little bit of health. And then also I have another one there. So if it really came down to it, and usually if I just have 1 health, I'll save it till the end. Because if you health up too early, it could kind of like sway the battle in their favor because then now they know what to do. But now they don't know I have another one, which is awesome. And I decided at this point, since I got the draw cards, to throw down some more towers to start attacking the BFB a little bit more. But I think we're going to get like 90 damage just from the fire alone from Gwen's ability, which is awesome. And then here he drops that fire arrow and takes a lot of my damage, which is a huge bummer. But again, we still have like 200 more than we need. And he has a long uptime on his super, so I don't have to worry about that damage. But then he quick readies his BFB. And I'm like, oh, no, please don't do that. I don't have enough damage for it yet. But then the ceramic is gone, so I'm happy about that. Now we just have to focus on this BFB coming at us like right now. But do you see how much money I have, which is why farms are so amazing? Because all you have to do is think about the gameplay. You don't have to worry about money, and I think that's so amazing. It's just like BTD6. So I decided to heal up a little bit more just to make sure, take down as much damage as I can with this one. And then I decided just keep attacking and keep attacking. Now a smart play would be to throw down the white balloon and get Gwen's ability going and use the massive ability. But then there it is, and you do 200 damage to everybody. So there goes, completely demoralizing, and now he only has 130 damage, and I don't have to care. And the game was over anyway, and that I don't realize half the time. That is usually my downfall, but I wasn't sure because how it's been going is you think you're about to win with that, and it's only -30. That's not that much. So if the tack was available, it would mess me up. And it does say 1 more round, but I've been confusing that with 1 round or 0 rounds. Very confusing. I need to get used to it more. But farms are amazing. I think that they're the best right now. Now that thing could change because it is only a beta, but so far you get farms, you have a better chance. Now the downside is your games take way longer and there's that chance that you lose. So if you're going for that whole good feeling of just winning, keep playing aggressive until you win one, then leave, and you'll get more games in that way. But if you're just trying to go to be the best, control right now is the OP with the farms, I swear. And if you haven't yet, check out this video. We try to black border and beat every single game mode as fast as we possibly can on the new map Tinkerton in Bloons City 6.